Um, pardon me. The importance of this um, video is to reiterate a purpose that I've established and why I've taken the path that I have. Oh, a long time ago, there was a need for rescue. And I had been writing at the time, and someone contacted me online and said um, Leonard Peltier wasn't receiving his medicine in the prison he was staying at in Florida, a resident there. And someone says, "Can you do anything?" And I says, "Well, I sure as hell can try." And so I contacted United Nations and I yelled and screamed um, at the panel there. And I say, I want to know why he isn't getting his medication. And so United Nations then took part in a campaign to free a prisoner from genocide or harassment. And I received words the next day he was getting his medicine. And he hadn't gotten his medicine in like 6 or 8 months. And I said, well, that worked. Okay, great. Let me know if there's any other problem. And I got lots of people asking me, what's going on here, what's going on there? And I say, well, let me check. And I get back to them with not just what the issue is, but I say, hey, do this, and hey, do that. And there's about 3 other things you can do, and let's see how that works. And let me know if there's a problem. And it started miraculously repairing itself. And what I mean by that is that the hole or the pit would just dissolve or enclose upon itself, and there was like no more issue. And so it became a very good option for me to go into a politic venue. And a politic venue for me means a primary issue resolved and not multiple. And so I started focusing on the glass instead of the breaking. And that means the fragility of a protected glass. And I started yelling and screaming at not only what has been done, because I said, okay, in a courtroom I'm going to say res ipsa liquido, and that means let the evidence or matter speak for itself. And what that means is prove to me that you have not done these things since you've been doing them since for the last 100 years. Prove to me that you are not the one at fault. Because I see your evidence everywhere. No entitlements. Entitlements have been stolen. Money's been stolen. Property's been stolen. Entitlements been stolen. Money's been stolen. Property's stolen. Entitlements stolen. Money's been stolen. Property's stolen. Children getting abducted. And I started yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling. And that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years, is yelling. And I haven't even been yelling at all of the issues. They'll clean it up, and I'm going to say, I'm yelling at you now for the potential. Why did you not do it this way? Because it could lead to this later, because you chose path. And you did it for this person, not for that person. Why? Because you chose a path. And I said, now I've got a potential issue. I have to yell at you for the next 13 years because you did it this way. I protected a very wonderful person, and I find out that he's getting harassed because of it. For those of you who have never seen me angry, you don't want to. And for those of you who have, you're going to laugh because you know how angry I get. And you know how right I am when I'm angry, because if you get me angry, that means I put up with enough of this and have enough evidentiary material to kick the tar out of you. So, let me leave you with this. You have ran me for 50 years. You have shot at me forever. You ran me over with a car, big deal. You've given me poisons. You've tempted my children. You can't seem to tempt me, and you can't seem to throw me off path. Let's do it all over again. Rack 'em up. Let's play again, because that's what it takes for me to gain momentum. Give it to me, because I thrive on your occurrence. You say, be your mother. And I say, I can't be my mother. You killed her. I won't be her. I'll be myself. I won't be her so that you can line up and do a thrill kill movie and do whatever you want to do to please yourself with that. You can't get that far with me because you've tried for the last 8 years. I don't show up to your party. I've hung on one thing this entire time, and that's the United Nations Declaration to the Civil Rights and to humanity and to the, the civilians known as the indigenous. Because the civil rights here, apparently, you don't care about. Because you've taken my vote away for the last 8 years, and that's a big sanction. It's a big sanction against the senator who has done this. Because you have taken a primary leader of people and an inspiration to many protected classes, and you have silenced my vote. Why? Because I'm over the age of 40? Because I'm a disabled woman? Why? Because I refused to whore. Instead, I stayed home and raised my kids. Why? Because I was a Sunday school teacher? Why? Because I wrote a book about God, a journal, a spiritual journal. Why? Because I am a model citizen that you so praise and push your children to be. And I did it, and guess what? I had no criminal record. I had 2 cars paid off. I was never late on my house rent payment. 5 years I was there. I lived in the suburbs, raised 5 kids who were honor students, and that wasn't good enough for you. You had to back the meth dealer